Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for the middle of April 2026. You have this envy card. It says focusing on what others have is draining your energy. You have this financial freedom. It says when you are financially free, your lack of money no longer defines the limitations in your life. Yes, pretty much everyone has had one of these cards of freedom, and I'm sure you know what I'm going to say, Gemini. That we have Uranus leaving Taurus, entering into your sign on the 25th. So that really could lead to a lot more freedom. Uranus is freedom. So that's what it wants us to create in our lives. So, any type of freedom, it doesn't even have to be financial, but obviously that would be a good thing for you to work on, will make you feel a lot better in life and will lead to a lot of just benefits in general. I think for you, having Uranus in your frickin' sign, I would be doing whatever I can. Uranus is in love with you, Gemini, right? So it is the higher octave of Mercury, your ruling planet. It absolutely loves being in your sign. Probably the best place for it to be, maybe, except for Aquarius. But, still, I don't know. Part of me feels like it is almost better in Gemini. We're about to find out, right, over the next six-ish years or so with it in your sign. But I think you're going to have a great time. And again, I would focus on building things, pretty much everything. Financial freedom, health freedom, your brain freedom, love freedom, all of it, right? You have the Knight of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, and the King of Cups in your first row. Knight of Pentacles is like slow, steady progress. I actually feel pretty good about it. Sometimes I don't like the Knight of Pentacles. Actually, a lot of the time, if I'm being honest, I don't, because he's the only knight in the tarot that isn't moving. Having said that, we see a lot of movement here. Six of Pentacles, World, Two of Wands in the good stuff, Wheel of Fortune, Queen of Wands even can represent movement. So I'm not too worried about the Knight of Pentacles showing up here. But I do feel like you're making progress, maybe a little bit slower. But again, is this a bad thing? No, because we have a ton of Aries energy right now as well. So Aries energy, I think, pushes us and makes us rush, and we shouldn't necessarily rush. We definitely have to move with Aries energy, but we shouldn't force and rush, right? So is it a bad thing? Probably not. You have the Four Swords. Yeah, again, everybody's going to get something like this because with all the Aries energy, if we need a break, we need to take a break. We need to absolutely listen to our body more right now than ever, and we need to make sure we're not pushing ourselves. Again, Aries energy, we can get injured. We can, lift something up and hurt our back. All that stuff can happen if we're not careful. Obviously, if we're paying attention, we're taking our time, and if your back feels weird, you probably should get someone else to lift something heavy, right? And if you do that, you'll be fine. If you don't, then Aries is definitely going to show you why you should be asking for help and stuff like that, right? So Four Swords wants us to rest, relax, recover, heal, take our time, not get injured, all that other stuff. He's also hoping and praying for a blessing. There's a person blessing another person in this stained glass window. And so I do feel that asking is very important with the Four Swords. If there's some sort of blessing that you are desiring, then you have to ask for it, right? You have the King of Cups. You have the King and Queen of Cups. You've been getting crazy love stuff for weeks now, Gemini. More than pretty much anyone else. So maybe other than Capricorn, but again, pretty much you're number one right now. So I feel that you could be attracting a new connection. We have the Two of Cups right in between these two. Two of Cups is a perfect match. Two of Cups is usually different than your usual type, which has also been coming up for you for a long time. That you could be attracting someone who is different or eccentric, which again, with Uranus and Gemini, absolutely makes sense because you will probably be attracted to weird. That's it. You'll probably be more attracted to things that are eccentric, that are weird, that are strange, that are not normal in some way, right? And again, that makes, like I said, it makes perfect sense. This is also good for other things as well. Like if you're attracted to a weird, eccentric opportunity or idea, those are going to be the things that really probably bring freedom, financial freedom or whatever into your life. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Temperance card. Yeah, I feel like you're ready to get moving here. I feel pretty good about this, Gemini. Temperance is patience, but I also feel like you're kind of done being patient. I feel like you're ready to move. But, this isn't unusual. This isn't anything that is exciting to me in this reading, because it's like, yeah, of course Gemini's ready to get moving. Of course Gemini's ready to make progress. I think it just makes sense. With the Four of Swords, you have the Hangman. Yeah, again, Hangman's going to be your favorite card other than the Seven of Swords, which we have right here, Gemini. I mean, you might as well get these two tattooed on your butt, because they're going to be following you around for a while, and it just makes sense to me. So, Hangman, tons of new perspectives, tons of new ways of seeing things. I mean, it's going to be exciting, if nothing else. I think that, one of my favorite things for you, Gemini, is like embracing a childlike attitude with it. Again, I'm a Gemini moon, right? These are all things that I'm doing as well. I mean, I take myself out of the readings, but, I do follow my own advice. So, I am being more playful. Just instead of attaching outcomes to things, I'm just saying, I'm just going to see how this goes. I'm just going to have fun with it until it's not fun anymore. And again, if whatever I'm doing, if it stays fun forever, great, then I'll keep doing it, right? And I think that would be a good attitude to have, because you're removing, I think you're removing all the pressure from outcomes, which is exactly probably what you need right now. And again, part of that is going to be, seeing other ways of approaching things. He's looking at things from upside down, so he is seeing things from a different perspective. With the King of Cups, you have the Queen of Cups. Yeah, very good connection. Could be a very loving connection. Could be a very close connection, So, I don't know. I really have nothing else to add to that, because I feel it's just good. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Illumination card and this Abundance card. I would be, with the Hangman as well, his head is glowing. He has gained enlightenment, and so I would pay attention to your attention. Now, part of me wants to blame Pluto and Aquarius for this. I feel like Pluto in Aquarius as well is a little bit of a spotlight, where our attention is being drawn to something throughout the day. You're driving in your car, a random thought pops into your head. You're in the shower, a random thought pops into your head. Those random thoughts could be inspirations that we need to pay attention to. So this is going to be for the next, until 2043 or whenever it is that Pluto leaves Aquarius. I think we really need to pay attention to those thoughts. Of course, it's a great time to build abundance or to create abundance. That does not mean you have abundance. I get tons of comments from people that are telling me all about how gas is $900 a gallon and all this other stuff. I'm like, right, we have to ignore it. And yes, I know it's hard to ignore, especially if you have to drive to work, but there are limitations right now, but it is a very abundant time. And so we have to find better solutions. That's what Uranus and Gemini is all about. People keep asking me, when is this stuff going to get better? I'm like, it's not. The whole point of being alive right now is we have to choose to step into our own world, into a new world that we create. The government isn't going to save you. The aliens aren't going to come and save us, right? We have to save ourselves. That's literally Neptune and Aries, Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto and Aquarius, people say, is the collective, but it's not really the collective. It is. It is you doing things to benefit the collective, which could be you saving the world by sharing your crazy-ass ideas, Gemini. And again, you are definitely going to be one of the signs that does it. I don't just say this stuff to gas you up either, and I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but from a spiritual perspective, if you do it, you will get the rewards, and the rewards will be abundant. So we have to start trying new solutions, and if we do that, good things will happen. You have the Death card, the Queen of Wands, and the Two of Cups. Major changes. I think you had the Death card with me last week as well for the reading, actually for this week, which is the week of the 13th coming up. I said that, it is a time of death because of Uranus changing signs. It's the last major planet we're waiting to change signs in this collection of planets that we've had change all at the same time, basically. And so that is a big death moment in astrology. Whenever we have, especially multiple generational planets, like Pluto's generational. Some people say Neptune's generational. Some people say Uranus is kind of generational in some way. It affects an entire generation. Kind of, but really Uranus is 7-8 years in a sign. But still, again, whenever we have all the planets all at the same time within a year of each other, it's a pretty big change. You have the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands, she follows the sun. So she uses the sunflower. It points towards the sun. which could be her attention that she's paying attention to. She's paying attention to what she's feeling guided towards, and that's what I would do with the sunflower here. Is I would move towards the sun, which is joy, happiness. Again, childlike energy, all that. She also doesn't care what people think, which I think is a big one for you, Gemini. I feel, I've probably said this to you before, but I feel Gemini, part of your karma is you learn jealousy. I think a lot of Geminis probably have stories of having dealt with situations where people were jealous of you, really. And you have to learn through that, right? But with Uranus and Gemini, people are going to call you weird. People are going to say, what are you doing? People are going to have questions, right? And not all those people are necessarily jealous, but you might feel like they are being judgmental. She has this black cat right here, and during the times of tarot, black cats were considered unlucky, but the whole point of the black cat is she doesn't care what people think. She just wants the black cat. That's it, right? So you have to listen to yourself, and you have to do what you want to do, not what everybody else wants you to do. And as long as you do that, you'll have a great time. You have the Two of Cups. Two of Cups is a perfect match. So again, there could be some sort of perfect match coming in for you if you're looking for love. Could be great communication as well, which is good for you because you're a Gemini. So, this right here is the Staff of Hermes, which is Mercury. And if you're looking for love, could be a new person. Of course, Two of Cups is also you and your higher self. And, there's been a little bit of a spiritual twist to this time that we're in. Do I really consider this to be a spiritual time? Well, of course. I think it always is. But it's not like, Neptune and Pisces like we've had for the last 14 years. It's not exactly the same. But there's something about the next 2 weeks that I feel is the universe really saying hey, you should take some extra Four of Swords, meditation time, quiet time, walking time, so that you can really tap in and listen to the messages that you're receiving. With the Death card, you have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands is conflict and competition, but, as I've said to you before, Gemini, I really like competition for you. I'm not saying that you should take part in the competition. Again, with Uranus and Gemini, I would be studying the competition as much as I possibly can. Look at my channel. Look at the things that I'm doing right now. That's pretty much all I do all day long. So is study. And trust me, it's worth it. So if you can find a way to stand out by being different, by being weird, by being your own unique self, that's what's going to make you stand out above the competition. In anywhere, there's competition in your life, in love, in business, in work, everything. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Again, I feel very good about money for you. And again, especially if you're thinking about doing something random, Gemini, in work. Let's say you have a job and maybe you want to start a YouTube channel. Or maybe you want to start an Instagram or something like that. There are those little, more side hustle type opportunities opening up for you over the coming years. I think a lot of you will be doing things like that. I'm not saying it has to be social media, but you could be writing a book, or maybe you're going to start to Uber on the weekends or something like that. I don't know. It could be any of that. But those little side hustles, could be very, very low effort and high return. That's one thing I will say, Gemini, is you want to focus on leverage. Again, I'm a Gemini moon. I've probably said to you before, I think one of the key words for Gemini is going to be leverage, meaning you put in not a lot, but you get more out of the situation. You have the Six of Pentacles right here. So Six of Pentacles, same thing. He's giving to this person, not this person. This person returns the favor. This person does not. But if you can find something that you can put a little bit into and get a lot out of, it'll be good. With the Two of Cups, you have the Six of Wands. This is like a victory. If you're attracting love, you could really be attracting a person that really stands out with the Six of Wands, or it could be you. Take it how it resonates, but Six of Wands is like a personal victory. So I don't know, maybe love feels like a personal victory for you, and that is, looks great. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Virgo card, says digest on it. You have this Imam Quayle card, which says root. The IC is the root of your chart. It is your fourth house cusp, is what the Imam Quayle is in your astrological chart. So it is the part of your chart that stabilizes your entire chart, right? So a lot of you could be focused on your foundation, or creating a more stable foundation. I feel like you need at least one thing that's predictable in your life, because again, Uranus is probably going to make things a little bit more unpredictable. Now, that's not a bad thing. It's good. But I also think having something that is predictable will give you that foundation to make you feel less crazy over the next 6 years or so. So that could be anything. That could be like a daily routine that you stick to. It could be the fact that you go to the gym Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday every single week and you just stick to it, right? Like having something, like one thing. I would come up with one thing that you stick to just to create some predictability in your life. I feel that would make things a lot easier, with both of these cards, really. Some of you, I am literally getting digestion here. So I don't know if you're having issues or not, Gemini, but you could be making changes to fix that. I don't know. I feel like it's a good thing. So there you go. You have the Six of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. Six of Pentacles is equal give and take. It is investing in the things that return the investment to you as well. So I feel that, really pretty much everything you're doing, you're going to be making sure that you're getting out what you put in. And again, this is a good thing. I do feel good about this for progress. That's the other challenge that I have for you, Gemini, is like progress. I don't think you are stuck. That's, so don't take this the wrong way, what I'm about to say. I feel like it's saying there are things you can do to make sure you never get stuck. And again, I'm not saying you are. Maybe some of you are. Maybe some of you aren't, right? But I feel like there are just things you can do, like especially in work, where, if work is getting a little bit too routine, or if it's getting a little bit too predictable, that's where the good unpredictability comes in. Maybe it would be a good time to experiment. Maybe it would be a good time to have a side hustle just to keep yourself interested, right? You have the Seven of Swords. Again, your other favorite card. I would put this on the left cheek here, Gemini, for whatever reason. I don't know. I feel like it belongs on the left side. But anyway, Seven of Swords, he's stealing those swords from the army in the background here. And he's going to war, but just in a different way. And again, that is your secret sauce, for sure. I feel coming up with different solutions, different ways of doing things, different approaches, but also fun. Because he has these polka dots on his cloak, and polka dots in the tarot represent taking things too seriously and needing to have more fun. I feel like the more you just look at things as a game, the better. The opposite of you is Sagittarius. You have the Wheel of Fortune here, which is Sagittarius. So the more you just say, like, it's a game, it doesn't have to be serious, it can be fun. I think the more fun you'll have. You have the Queen of Cups. Definitely a good time to follow your heart. I mean, Queen of Cups really, above love, she really wants us to follow our heart. She has this big cup here, and the cup represents her heart. She values what her heart is telling her to do above all else. And I feel following your heart at this time is what you're going to need to do. So let's see here, Gemini. By the way, make sure to leave a comment. Really helps me out. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is like a quick success, quick conclusion. We also have the World, which the World is also a quick conclusion. So you could be wrapping up a project, wrapping something up in your life. The World is good, definitely like an achievement. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Five of Cups. Yeah, I feel like you have to let go of regrets. I'm hearing like enter into something fresh. I don't know what the hell that means, but if you're starting something, even if you're revisiting something at this time, I feel that you have to look at it as completely fresh, completely new, completely different, enter into it as a different person. Like, let's say you're starting a project again that you failed on in the past. I feel you need to completely wipe the slate clean in your brain. The Five of Cups, he's too focused on what happened, and he's not focusing on this, which is something better because it leads to the bridge and the castle. So he's tried something, and, he has lost his taste for wine. So something that once brought him happiness no longer brings him happiness. And, the whole point of the card is he has to look for new fulfillment. He has to look for a new form of happiness right here. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Five of Pentacles. I think you need to get out of your head a little bit. Not too bad. Five of Pentacles says do not call attention to your weaknesses and wants you to focus on your strengths, which I feel would be a good thing. But at the same time, Five of Cups, Five of Pentacles, a little bit of inside the head energy, thinking too much. Again, I would just, if there's something you want to do, do it and focus on your strengths. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this delicate rose. It says, be willing to honestly say what you feel, no matter how terrifying it may seem. You have this metamorphosis. It says, your inner self is being renewed day by day, so new and better ways can come forth. Yes, you are going through a major change. So, yes, and also speak up, right? I would just say the things that are on the top of your head, right? And let it out. You're going to say weird stuff. I said this to you in your last reading. I'm sure I think I made the joke that it's like foot and mouth disease, right? You're going to be sticking your foot in your mouth a lot, Gemini. Some of you might be into that, but, whatever. But what I would say is, those moments are going to be authentic moments. And those authentic moments are going to make you stand out in the world as being different. 5 of Wands. You have to be different. So you have the World, the 2 of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. The world is like an accomplishment or an achievement. It can also represent standing out in the world, which is your job right now, is to stand out. And if you do that, you'll have a lot of achievements. You have the 2 of Wands. Yeah, 2 of Wands wants you to leave a comfort zone. He's standing at the top of this castle, but he has the world in his hands. He is focused on building his kingdom. He already built this castle that he's standing on top of, but this wand that's standing on its own, it basically says that the castle that he has built stands on its own. There's nothing more he can do from this position. So the card is asking him to expand his kingdom, go build another castle somewhere else, right? And this makes a lot of sense with Uranus in your sign, because Uranus wants us to build freedom. And if you were to expand your kingdom, you would have a lot more freedom. So definitely a time of expansion for you here, Gemini. You have the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune, of course, can be a positive change in your fortunes, especially in the good stuff. I like the Wheel of Fortune. It's a good card, but I think it's much, much better in the good stuff. Outside of the good stuff, there's a lot to do with the Wheel of Fortune. We have to double down on the good stuff. We have to take care of challenges right away, all that stuff. But in the good stuff, it kind of just says that the wheel is spinning forwards. The good that you're spinning in the positive direction. And I would keep that positivity, that positive direction going with the Wheel of Fortune. With the World, you have the Emperor here. The Emperor, of course, could be an emperor that you're attracting into your life. Could also say that you are absolutely taking control of your own reality with the World card, because the world is your entire reality. The Emperor is about taking control of your reality. It would also be about taking control of opportunities quickly. We don't want to wait with the Emperor. He's sitting down, he's chilling out, but he has his armor on underneath his cloak. So when an opportunity presents itself, he takes it right away, and he does not wait. So, I think having that type of attitude would be good. Obviously, every planet and its mother right now is in Aries, so we probably should take advantage of things quickly. Here you go. This is what I was looking for. You have the Empress. Clearly could be love coming in for you here. So if you're looking for love, definitely could be a new person. We have divine counterparts, Emperor and the Empress, which is great. Definitely, power. I am getting like power couple vibes here. So if you're attracting a person, it looks really good. Could be a fire sign. Could be any sign. You have like everything. You have water, earth, fire. You don't have any air, but still, could be any sign. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the 10 of Wands here. 10 of Wands can be carrying a heavy burden. It is coming up in the good stuff. So he is very close to achieving his goal. He has his home back here, and he's been carrying some heavy burdens. But again, he's very close to achieving his goal. So, I feel that, yeah, maybe you've been putting in the work, but you could be very close to the finish line. You have this Turkey card. It says someone behaving stupidly. Yes, again, Aries energy, especially Saturn in Aries, is very loud. So if there are any people who are just yelling, screaming, crying, whatever, that is the type of energy I would ignore, because I think we're going to see a lot of like posturing. We are. Just look at the things that are happening in the world. We're seeing a lot of people, that are, measuring a certain part of the male anatomy. I can't say that word on YouTube anymore, because YouTube is also posturing. YouTube is run by 3-year-olds. But what I would say here is that, again, I would avoid that energy. You have this feather. It says someone is undependable and insincere. Yeah, I would avoid it at all costs. Again, I think it's an amazing time for you, Gemini, to look at the people in your life and say to yourself, would I trade places with this person? If the answer is yes, probably a good person to spend time with. If the answer is no, then probably not, right? These two wanted to come out together. You have this bird perch. It said, waiting for news, package, or letter. And you have this cat. It says, a two-faced friend. Obviously, I would be careful of anyone. Again, I would be careful of intentions with people. I think that's a sneaky part of Uranus and Gemini, is that, again, you could have people where, like, if you tell them, like, oh, I want to start this business, or I want to date this person, and if they say to you, oh, I don't know, that, that's dangerous, or that's this, or that's that, they might, it's not necessarily that they're two-faced, but, they might just be getting in the way. So I really feel you have to put yourself first and listen to yourself first. You have this dark woman. It says dealings or relationships with a woman with dark complexion or hair. You have this cobweb. It says protected from negative forces beyond your control. So you are protected. I feel like this could be you, even if you're not a woman. Sometimes I feel these people cards are just the person I'm reading for, Gemini. You have this flute. It says disappointment in a friend or a lover. Again, I would clearly be careful of a person. I'm going to pull you an extra card because these are all the same. So I would be careful of anyone like this, like what we described. You have this ant. It says work, achievement, success. Yes, we were talking about this in the reading. Ants can lift many times their body weight. We were talking about leverage. If there's something you can do where you put in like an hour of work, but maybe what you get out of it is equal to like 10 hours of work, that would be a good thing, right? Building something like a business that can do that for you. So definitely something to think about. Sorry, I'm going through puberty, so I'm losing my voice. It's cracking. But anyway, Gemini, I love this reading for you. Looks really good. So thank you for being here. Make sure to leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your week.